Probability in planning means while planning you are just estimating your profit or sales. You cannot be exact. One problem is there, you got the clarity regarding the problem. To solve that problem, what you do, you come out with various alternatives. So when you decide to increase the salary of the employees in your plan, what happens? They get motivated to work. The responsibility of the workers working in finance department is doing finance related work. Hello everyone, this is Purna Chandra, Faculty, Department of Commerce and Management, Vidyashram. So we are dealing with the subject management principles and practices. Today will be the last session, that is the third session in this chapter. So the chapter is planning and decision making. We will start. To recap, in the last session, we understood what are the steps involved in the planning process, objectives of plans and various kinds of plans. That is, we understood the meaning of various kinds of plans. So in today's session, the agenda is limitations of planning, decision making, that is the importance and steps in decision making, and MBO, that is management by objective and management by exception. So we will start one by one. So limitations of planning. Limitations of planning means disadvantages of planning. We will understand one by one. So the first one is rigidity. What does this mean? Rigidity means once the top level managers, he comes out with a very rigid plan, then the middle level managers or the workers, even if they don't like the plan also, they have to implement that plan. So it is rigid, that is, it is a disadvantage. The top level managers, they'll come out with very harsh plans or rigid plans which the workers don't like. But still the workers have to implement because they got no choice. They have to implement it. They have to follow the instructions of the top level management. So this is a disadvantage or limitation, rigidity. Then what is misdirected planning? So misdirected planning means, now for example, the top level managers, they are involved in the process of planning. So they come out with a plan for their benefit, but not for the benefit of the organization. Now the planning is misdirected. For example, the top level managers, they come out with a plan, and while drafting the plan, they mention that top level managers need not attend the company meeting. So here what is happening? He is misdirecting the plan. Just because he wants to stay at home, he is mentioning in the plan that top level managers need not attend the meeting. That is okay. But on the other hand, if the top level managers are not involved in the meeting or not attending the meeting, it is a disadvantage for the organization. So this is called misdirected planning. That is, sometimes top level managers, they come out with plans for their benefit but not for the benefit of the organization. That is a disadvantage. Next is time consuming. What does this mean? Time consuming means to come out with a plan, you have to collect data, you have to interpret data, you have to manipulate data, and then you come out with a plan. So to do all these things, you require a lot of time. So it is time consuming. Next is probability in planning. What does this mean? Probability in planning means while planning, you are just estimating your profit or sales. You cannot be exact. So it is called probability. You cannot, when you are drafting the plan, you cannot say that I will make 1 crore profit this year. You can just estimate that I am estimating a profit of 1 crore this year, but you cannot be exact. This is called probability in planning. So it is a limitation because you cannot be exact, but you have to estimate. So that is probability in planning. False sense of security. What does this mean? False sense of security means you have drafted a very elaborate and very detailed plan. What do you think? You think that just because I have drafted a plan, things will work out for me. So that is not the real scenario. You should also make sure that it is implemented in a proper way. It is implemented in a proper way. So it is false sense of security. Certain managers, what happens is, just because they have drafted the plan, they think that their job is over. So they will not monitor the implementation of the plan. So when they don't monitor the implementation of the plan, what happens? The implementation will not take place in a good manner or in a specified way. So which will affect the organizational goals. So it is false sense of security. Then expensive. So what does this mean? So being a manager or when you are drafting a plan, you will have to invest on collection of data. You should also invest on experts who give you good opinions regarding planning. So you will have to pay them for everything, for gathering information, manipulating information, you will have to pay them. So that is called expensive. So these are the limitations of planning. So next we are going for decision making. So what is decision making? We will understand. Decision making is an important function in management which is related to a problem. What does this mean? So you are encountered a problem in the workplace. Now you want to solve that problem. To solve that problem, you want to take some decision. So this is called decision making. An effective decision making helps to achieve desired goals or objectives by solving such problem. So when you are involved in the process of decision making, you take one decision which is applicable to the problem. So when you are involved in the process of decision making, you select one alternative which is best suited for your organization to solve the problem. Decision making involves two or more alternatives, because if there is only one alternative, no decision has to be made. So obviously when you are involved in the decision, you have to select among two or more. So if there is only one alternative, you don't have to decide. So when there is two or more alternatives for a particular problem, you are involved in the process of decision making. So this is the meaning of decision making. Next we go to the definition of decision making. A decision is an art of choice wherein executive forms a conclusion about what must be done in a given situation by McFarland. This is the definition given by McFarland. So what is the basic definition is, you want to choose a particular way to solve a problem in your organization. So come to a conclusion that you are selecting one way to solve a particular problem in a particular situation. This is called decision making. So a decision represents behavior chosen from a number of possible alternatives. That is, to solve a particular problem in your organization, you have got n number of alternatives. What you do in decision making, you choose one alternative to solve that problem. This is called decision making. So next we understand the steps in decision making. Investigate the situation, develop alternatives, evaluate and select the best one, implement and monitor the decision. We will understand one by one. Investigate the situation. What does this mean? So detailed investigation is made about the situation and the problem is defined. So what you do, you want to know what is the real problem. You want to know what is the clarity regarding the problem. So you want clarity regarding the problem. So what you do, you investigate the situation. So time and effort is put to gather data and information in order to identify the real problem. So in this step, what you do, you are investigating the situation, you are putting your time and effort so that you get clarity regarding what the real problem is. So this is the first step. So next we go to the second step, that is develop alternatives. What does this mean? Now you know what is the problem in the first step. Next what you do, various alternatives are developed to deal with the problem identified. So one problem is there, you got the clarity regarding the problem. To solve that problem, what you do, you come out with various alternatives. For example, you develop different alternatives. For example, you develop 10 different alternatives to solve that particular problem. This is develop alternatives. So when developing alternatives, you come out with brainstorming. What is brainstorming? Brainstorming means the managers, they sit together and they discuss the problem and they take opinions of each other. And finally, they come out with various alternatives in which the particular problem can be solved. This is called develop alternatives. Third one, evaluate alternatives and select the best one. Now you have got 10 different alternatives to solve the problem. Now you have to select one alternative to solve the problem. So you have to select the best alternatives. So what you do, you evaluate alternatives. So you can select the best alternative. All the alternatives are evaluated and compared with each other and best one is selected. So all the alternatives which you have drafted in the step 2, you people will be evaluating so that you select the best one. For the analysis of alternatives, the following criteria should be considered. That is, all these alternatives has to be analyzed based on these criteria, that is risk. How much risk is involved in selecting a particular alternative. And economy, it should be economical. Implementing a particular alternative should be economical, that is, it should not waste money. And timing, and also it should not waste time. What alternative you are selecting should solve the problem as early as possible, that is timing. Limitations of resources. The alternative which you are deciding to implement to solve the problem should not waste both raw materials as well as the time of the workers, that is limitation of resources. So based on these criteria, you evaluate the alternatives and you select the best one. So the next step is implement and monitor the decision. Now you have selected one alternative out of the 10 alternatives which you have developed to solve the problem. The next one is you implement that alternative. Here you decide to implement the alternative that best suits your organization to solve the problem. So you are implementing the alternative to solve the problem. The decision has to be monitored because there is a natural human tendency to forget possible risks and uncertainties once decision is made. So just implementing is not enough. You people have to monitor it. So why you have to monitor it is there is natural human tendency to forget possible risks and uncertainties once a decision is made. So just because you are implemented, there is natural human tendency that they will neglect the monitoring. So it is very essential to monitor so that you can foresee future possible risks or any uncertain events that might affect your organization. So this is implement and monitor the decision. So with this, we are done with the steps in the decision making. We'll move on to the next topic. Importance of decision making. The first importance is better utilization of resources. That is, when you are involved in good decision making, you can make best use of the resources, that is your raw materials or your human resources, whatever it is, you can make best use of them. Business growth. Obviously, when you take good decisions, you come out with good products. Good products means good amount of profit. Good amount of profit means your business grows. Achieving objectives. That is, when you are involved in good decisions, you are taking good decisions, what happens? You can achieve your objectives easily and within the speculated period of time. Increases efficiency. Obviously, when you take good decisions, what happens? Optimum utilization of resources takes place. That is, raw materials are not wasted and you come out with quality output and maximum output. So it increases efficiency, facilitates innovation. That is, so what is the meaning of innovation? Innovation means you are upgrading the product. So when you decide to innovate your product in your decision, you facilitate innovation. You are a top manager, you are involved in the decision making and you decide to innovate the product. That is, for example, Dairy Milk, they innovated it to Dairy Milk Silk. Likewise, your bikes, R15, version 1 came, then they came out with version 2, then version 3, now it is version 4. This is called innovation. When you are a manager and you decide to innovate your products, it can result in better sales. You are the manager and you are involved in the innovation. Obviously, when you innovate the product, you can increase the sales and in turn, you can increase the profit. So this is called facilitates innovation. Motivates employees. Like what? So you decide in your plan that if workers, they work well, we produce them, motivates employees. So you decide in your plan that workers who work well, their salary will be increased by 10%, 20%. So when you decide to increase the salary of the employees in your plan, what happens? They get motivated to work. Seventh one, solving problems in management. Obviously, decision making, the main purpose of decision making is to solve problems. Whatever problems that is faced by the managers, you can solve them by taking decisions. Then teamwork. Decision making also results in teamwork because decisions which are taken by the top level managers, it is for the entire organization. That is, the entire organization has to abide by the decisions taken by the top level managers. So it results in teamwork. So this is the importance of decision making. So next we go to management by objectives. So in your syllabus, only meaning they have asked, we will understand. MBO is a process whereby superior and subordinate managers of an organization jointly define its common goals. What does this mean? So the principle behind MBO is to make sure that everybody within the organization has clear understanding of aims or objectives, awareness of their roles and responsibilities to achieve those aims. So MBO basically what it means is the top level managers, they come out with objectives and they communicate the objectives to other subordinates or workers so that they work towards these objectives. Here the principle behind MBO is the organization, everybody in the organization, they should know what is the aim of the organization or objectives. For example, their aim is to make 1 crore profit. So everyone should have clear understanding that they should make 1 crore profit, and also they should know what is their roles and responsibilities to achieve this objective of 1 crore. So for example, the responsibility of the workers working in finance department is doing finance related work. Similarly, the responsibility of the workers working in production department is production work. But at the end of the day, their common goal is, their common objective is making profit, that is 1 crore profit. This is management by objectives, that is they set objectives and they manage the work in such a way that the objectives are achieved. So next is management by exception. What does this mean? It is an employee empowerment and management style, policy or philosophy. In MBE, the managers intervene only when their employees fail to meet their performance standards and when things go wrong. So what here in management by exception, what happens? The managers, they will communicate what the workers have to do, and after communicate, they will not interfere. They will allow the workers to work on their own, and they interfere only when things go wrong or performance standards are not met. For example, so this is the performance standard. So this is the performance standard. So the managers, they have told their employees to produce 1000 units this week. So this is the performance standards. So at the end of the week, if the workers have produced 1000 units of a particular product, then they will not interfere. Everything is going well. Suppose they have not produced 1000 units. Suppose they have produced only 800 units. So here there is a deviation. What performance standards manager has set was 1000 units, and the workers, they have produced only 800 units. That is, something is going wrong. So this point of time they will interfere. This is called management by exception. When things go wrong or performance standards are not met, the managers will interfere. If the things are going well, that is, the performance standard is met, nothing is going wrong, they will not interfere. This is called management by exception. With this, we are done with the second unit, that is planning and decision making. So in our next session, we will be starting the third unit, that is organizing and staffing. Thank you.